Today I'm going to read you Spaghetti by Cynthia Rylant. It's from her book Every Living Thing, which is a collection of short stories. Spaghetti. It was evening, and people sat outside, talking quietly among themselves. On the stoop of a tall building of crumbling bricks and rotting wood sat a boy. His name was Gabriel, and he wished for some company. Gabriel was thinking about things. He remembered being the only boy in class with the right answer that day, and he remembered the butter sandwich he had for lunch. Gabriel was thinking that he would like to live outside all the time. He imagined himself carrying a pack of food and a few tools and a heavy cloth to erect a hasty tent. Gabriel saw himself sleeping among coyotes. But next he saw himself sleeping beneath the glittering lights of a movie theater near the bus stop. Gabriel was a boy who thought about things so seriously, so fully, that on this evening he nearly missed hearing a cry from the street. The cry was so weak and far away in his mind that for him it could have been the slow lifting of a stubborn window. It could have been the creak of an old man's legs. It could have been the wind. But it was not the wind, and it came to Gabriel slowly that he did indeed hear something, and that it did indeed sound like a cry from the street. Gabriel picked himself up from the stoop and began to walk carefully along the edge of the street, peering into the gloom and the dusk. The cry came again, and Gabriel's ears tingled as he walked faster. He stared into the street, up and down it, knowing something was there. The street was so gray that he couldn't see, but not only the street was gray. There, sitting on skinny stick legs, wobbling to and fro, was a tiny gray kitten. No cars had passed to frighten it, and so it just sat in the street and cried its windy, creaky cry and waited. Gabriel was amazed. He had never imagined he would be lucky enough one day to find a kitten. He walked into the street and lifted the kitten into his hands. Gabriel sat on the sidewalk with the kitten next to his cheek and thought. The kitten smelled of pasta noodles, and he wondered if it belonged to a friendly Italian man somewhere in the city. Gabriel called the kitten Spaghetti. Gabriel and Spaghetti returned to the stoop. It occurred to Gabriel to walk the neighborhood and look for the Italian man, but the purring was so loud, so near his ear, that he could not think as seriously or as fully as before. Gabriel no longer wanted to live outside. He knew he had a room and a bed of his own in this tall building, so he stood up with Spaghetti under his chin and went inside to show the kitten where they would live together. So the story of Spaghetti and Gabriel can teach us something, and it tells us a lot about what Cynthia Rylant feels about animals. When Gabriel started off in the story, he was lonely and he wasn't really happy with where he was. He wanted to live outside, maybe, sleep among the coyotes or beneath a movie theater. He just wanted something different. And then when he found that little kitten, all of a sudden his life seemed a little brighter. And he was able to go into his apartment and bring the kitten with him and say, this is where we can live together. And that's because people and animals love each other, and the animal kind of completed his life a little bit. Now we're going to look at another story and see if we can find a similar theme.